Hey everybody, Kat Minks here with Adore Magazine, and I am so blessed that you decided to join me today for this very fabulous interview that I'm doing with Kelly Hayes. She was a contributor in the most recent issue of Adore Magazine. Actually, some of her items are shown in this photo, and she has an article that you will definitely want to check out, all about shelter in a pretty place, because that's what we are all doing right now is sheltering, at least a lot more in home. And she talks about in that article about how to have a COVID friendly home that can withstand all the cleaning that we're doing, having great design. And we talk more about that in our interview today. So thank you so much for joining me. And I know that you're going to find more ways to live life being adored just from this interview. Hey everybody, Kat Minks here with Adore Magazine, and I have a very special guest with me today. Her name is Kelly Hayes, and she is an interior designer, award nominated interior designer, and also the contractor of Carriage House Studios. She is a contributor for the most recent issue of Adore Magazine. If you have not picked it up, definitely get it right away on adoreMagOnline.com or on the Apple iTunes Store. And in it, she had the liberty to talk with us a little bit about COVID friendly design. We're all kind of making changes in our home right now, doing some fun things, exploring a little bit what are some options because we're all in our space a lot more. And so I asked her today to talk with me a little bit about work from home spaces. And also we have kiddos that are, working from home as well. So she's going to talk with us a little bit about some fun ideas that she has that you can incorporate into your own life. So welcome, Kelly. Thank you for chatting
Thank
with me
you.
today.
Hi, happy weekend, everybody. Thank you for having me. I'm excited. This is obviously a topic that's at the forefront of people's minds. So I'm just so appreciative to be here.
Great. Well, I'm so happy and glad that you took the time for us today. And I know that you're going to have some amazing tips that people are going to say, I need to do that right now. Um, I also, as a mama of two, am working from home, and my kids are also, working from home. So what would be the most important things that you would say are some great things that make working from home efficient for both you and your family? And maybe you can give us a few ideas of places that we can get some things or some tips on what we can do to our own spaces to make them more workable.
Yeah, absolutely. I find that given the current climate that we're in, at first everybody was very hesitant to do anything, to explore their space, to really take many risks. And now that more time has gone on, we've obviously been spending more time than ever in our homes, or at least close to home, than ever before. I think people are really looking at their spaces in a new way and seeing what's working and what isn't working, more importantly. And so those projects that have been put on the back burner for however many years have really taken the forefront of our time and our attention. If you hated your living room when you first moved in 2 years ago, you really hate it now. And for me, it's my girls' bathroom upstairs. So that's currently being demoed in its entirety, which is exciting. But now more than ever, it was like, okay, I can't live with this space as it is anymore. So more focus is being dedicated to that. And what I'm really finding is that we have to find multiple functionalities within our spaces. So our dining room isn't just our dining room anymore. And that's okay because we're not hosting these, 8-person dinner parties anymore. And so that's, for me, the space that has become more universal and less confined to those boxes that we originally assigned to them. What I think is important when considering the multiple uses that our space is going to have is still to keep it really true to you and to your families. So as an example, one of my go-to tips is to showcase your style, whether you're adding some beautiful wallpaper or statement lighting, which is almost always one of the first recommendations I make for clients is to change out their builder grade lighting because it makes such an impact. Think of it like the jewelry of your outfit. Those are going to be big things that make impact on your space and really make it something that you want to spend time in.
Great. So, what are some kind of fixture pieces if you're like transforming, like, say, your dining room to something else? What would be something that you could get or transform that you might already have to do that?
Yeah, so multiple use pieces is what we'd really be looking at. I've seen some really great examples of file and paper storage by using baskets, oversized baskets that would fit a hanging file system within it. And then you're able to stick, at least a 12-inch by 12-inch deep system within that basket with all of the kids' paperwork. Makes it feel more put together. I think when everything has a place where it goes at the end of the day, it feels more like it's put together and less like it's just this chaotic whirlwind of a drop zone and we don't know where anything belongs. So using baskets to your advantage would definitely be a tip. And then also my personal preference, for lack of a better word, is just that we aren't combining kids' play spaces with their workspaces. Especially for younger kids. I have twin 5-year-old girls at home. We're at that age where we understand enough about we play and we work, and those have very distinct ways that those look. And so I haven't put their workspace in their playroom because I don't want them to feel like those are both the same thing. At the same time, other clients have opted to swap out their kids' night tables or nightstands for a desk. And that's actually worked out really well because you still have the landing zone to be able to put a lamp, an alarm clock, some books, but it's more of a dedicated spot away from, their recreation of the house, of their play spot. And that's worked really well. I remember when all of this first started, my kids were in preschool, and they tried to do, the Zoom meeting and the circle time with all of these 4-year-olds, which was not ideal. It was a learning curve for all of us. But I remember my kids very distinctly looked at me and said, "You're not our teacher. This isn't school. This is my house." And that to me was a really big light bulb moment where I was like, you're absolutely right. And that's why we need to create distinct zones to do our work from home space or our school from home space in.
Well, and don't you think, I know, like with my kids, when I created that space for them, I was like, this is going to be your office. And they got really excited because it was like, oh, I'm grown up. I have an
Huh?
office,
And some ownership, absolutely. And so getting their input on how they want it to look or letting them style their bulletin board however they want. I have to let go of that inner type A a little bit and go, oh, I don't know if we should hang that there, but they have so much pride and it's their own space, which I think is really important.
Mm-hmm. And then, so as we're I know you mentioned like the baskets with the hanging, is that just like any hanging file contraption that you
It
just
was.
take it out of the file
It,
cabinet and stick it in the
it
basket?
was. It's just that the basket has to be pretty oversized, and I'll send you a picture that you're, obviously welcome to use as an example. But I just thought light bulb moment, like multiple purposes
Yeah,
for these individual items. It doesn't have to look like a filing cabinet in order to store papers.
right. Um, you had mentioned too, like when we were talking about how like design has just become more like, because you're home all the time and so many people are making some changes to their house that they never thought of before, of things that annoy them. Um, what, you had mentioned like it's okay to have a cream colored sofa or a chair in a space and not be worried about it. So
Right.
what are some things, like if you want to do that more monochromatic
Mm-hmm.
palette, what are some like certain fabrics or things that you should look for if you want to do something like upscale looking, but you have children?
Exactly. You have life, right?
Yeah.
So the thing that we were talking about before we started was just how, people of our age with young children and maybe their first or second home feel this dichotomy of wanting to have a beautiful space, wanting to have that Instagram worthy or Pinterest worthy house, but also being fearful because they have small kids or a dog or a messy spouse who throws the throw pillows on the floor and doesn't understand the purpose, or likes to serve red wine and feels like, well, I can't have a beautiful house if I have this kind of lifestyle, XYZ. And that just couldn't be further from the truth. There are so many great options for people, and I can attest to this personally, who are able to have light colored or even white furniture and still have all of those things. So there are some definite keys or tricks of the trade to use, and I am a big advocate for performance grade upholsteries and fabrics. There's typically a higher price point that comes along with that, but it pays for itself over time tenfold. So you want to look for things like Krypton or Sunbrella or indoor outdoor types of fabrics and materials. Same goes for rugs. If the rug is an indoor outdoor rug, absolutely that is worth the investment. Additionally, I always have the option for clients to have their furniture or their upholstery treated. There's local companies throughout the Minneapolis area that will come to your house and protect your furniture and even carry a limited warranty for a period of around 2 years, so that if something happens and you're not able to get it out on your own, they'll come and they'll treat it and get it out for you. So I have very light colored dining room chairs, and everybody thinks I'm absolutely crazy for that. But I have successfully gotten out spaghetti sauce, chocolate donut frosting, Cheeto dust. I mean, you name it. The chairs look as new as they did when I purchased them close to 3 years ago now with toddlers. So it's definitely not something that I ever want people to feel like they can't have this kind of home, because it's not one or the other. Both things can exist at the same time without being mutually exclusive.
Well, and with everybody just being home all the time, you have to find some resources to not just keep your house clean, because we're all cleaning more than ever before.
Right.
I mean, we're taking like bleach to almost everything in the house.
Exactly. Exactly.
So it also has to withstand that, but also
Right.
our kids too.
Right.
Um, you had went over some COVID friendly design ideas in the most recent issue of Adore, but could you just kind of quickly go over like some of the couple of things that you went through in that article?
Yeah, absolutely. So you do want to be cognizant when you're working with your materials in your home for what they can withstand. So for example, marble or granite is going to be a more porous material. So you just want to be more cautious when you're treating those items. But at the same time, you have resources available to you, whether that's through a designer, a local company, a local showroom. So asking for help is always a great option. If you are decorating or talking about accessories, you'll want to look at objects that are metal or glass, things that can withstand treatment a little bit more involved or more in depth. And then throw pillows and textiles that can be, set outside or, thrown in the wash machine and the dryer. Those are always good options. So yeah, I would say generally speaking, make sure that you're looking at what the material is and what they recommend for the care of it, but know that there's options available for maintaining the sanitary aspect of it.
Great. Thank you so much. One quick question too about like the granite count. Do
Yeah.
you have to reseal those?
You're supposed to, yes. And I learned that lesson the hard way. I was painting some cabinets during COVID because I couldn't stand them anymore on the granite countertop. And I thought, well, no big deal. I mean, I'm being super careful. It doesn't look awful. I'm probably the only one that would notice it, but there's definitely some white paint that got into the pits, so to speak, of the granite. But yes, granite does need to be resealed. It's not a huge deal, but it will absorb things. And at the same time, marble, I find that clients are really fearful or hesitant to use marble in their homes now, especially given quartz and the popularity that we've seen with quartz over the past couple of months. But think about the marble in Rome and Italy. Over time, it starts to get this amazing patina that is just unlike anything else. It's okay if your materials show wear. You have to learn to, at a certain point, to just embrace that and know that those are beautiful in their own right. So I would kill for a marble kitchen at this point, even though I think the first scuff or scratch might be a little, I think that it would wear over time and look beautiful. And the marble in Italy can support that theory. So
Sure. Great. Well, I'm going to do just a really quick fire top 8 questionnaire for you.
love it.
So get ready. Here we go.
Here we go.
Your favorite gadget in your home right now?
Oh my gosh, the coffee maker has been getting a lot of use. And I think that it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but luckily there's some great kitchen appliances that look okay on the counter. So definitely the coffee maker.
Okay. What's your favorite home store?
Oh, I am a big fan of the shops on 50th. And so I would say Anthropologie is a big one. I could go in there and spend hours upon hours, but a lot of times too, some of those vintage shops can be really amazing.
Mm-hmm. What are you reading?
I wish that I was a better reader right now. I just joined a book club, so I'm hoping to get back into it. Right now, I'm reading Daisy Jones and the Six, which is really, really good. I'm enjoying that. And then the book that's coming up, I believe next month. Ooh, I need to get it. I don't, off the top of my head, I'm not exactly sure what it's called. But hopefully this book club, when you check back in with me again, hopefully I'll can report that I've been reading more.
Your favorite meal to have when you're entertaining at home?
Ooh, that's a good one. Pizza's the easiest, probably. We had pizza last night, and that's something that everybody will eat. I have really picky eaters, unfortunately, but I never get sick of pasta, any kind of pasta, all day long. More cheese, the better.
That's total Midwest answer. Yep, I love it. The best plant for indoor living. So we're getting cold now. Like all of us are going to be coming inside. What's that plant that we should have?
So I am not the greatest to ask about this because I have a black thumb. I mean, truly, my mom, my husband love plants. I kill everything just by looking at it. So I like faux plants. Ferns can do okay in my house. And then those snake plants are really incredible. I love how sculptural they are, and they are hardy enough that they can withstand living with me. So
the hot color for 2021 will be?
Ooh, that is a good one. I think that it's going to be kind of that terracotta clay color. I believe that not all colors are treated equally when it comes to finish. So when we're thinking terracotta, I'm really thinking in like a chalky matte finish. And I love the color of the chair behind you. That's incredible.
Oh, thank you. It's one of my favorites. I am like a chair hog. I love chairs for some reason.
Yeah, so the color that's behind you conveniently.
Your favorite staycation spot or hotel?
That's a great question. So a few years ago, I was consulted on a hotel that just went in St. Paul. And unfortunately, I had not had the opportunity to go and stay there yet, but I am looking forward to adding that onto my list. So it's the Celeste Hotel. It was a former monastery. Yeah. That was, I believe, abandoned, but they've turned it into a hotel now, and there's just a handful of rooms, and they really stayed very true to the architecture and the purpose of it, which I think is incredible. So I have that on my list for some place to go in the next couple of weeks.
Your favorite celebrity Instagram feed?
Oh my gosh. Well, celebrity in their own right. I follow the Studio McGee couple. Shay McGee does incredible things, and she launched recently a collaboration with Target Boutique Target, which has been really successful, and they just launched round 2 actually yesterday or today, I believe. So if any of your viewers or followers happen to be at their local Target and see something by Studio McGee, you just grab that sucker right up, because it's going to sell out, and she can do no wrong.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. And I'm sure our viewers learned a lot. I know especially that basket file cabinet, I'm going to be doing that like now.
Do it. It's genius.
Because
I
Lord
can't
knows our
take the
dining
credit
room.
for thinking of it, but it's genius. Love it. Well,
Um,
thanks. Yeah.
yeah, thank you so much. And I hope that we get to hear more of your inspiration in the future with Adore and Adore readers. And thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. And look for Kelly Hayes and the Carriage House Studio on Instagram and Facebook and online. Do you want to say your website is
Yeah.
your website?
Yeah, it's kind of a mouthful. So it's carriagehousestudiomn.com. And on there, I publish a bi-monthly blog and stay pretty active on the social channels. So stay tuned.
Thanks so much. Everybody
Thanks.
enjoy your day. Again, this is Kat Minks with Adore Magazine. Live life being adored.